Hello everyone, my name is Arya and welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be talking about the books that I might read in the month of January, and I say might because after having December as such a flop of a reading month, like it was a very big womp, I'm kind of at the edge of a reading slump and I don't want to get myself into the depths of one, and so I want to keep my options quite open. I don't want to be strict with a TBR or whatever, even though I am not really strict, but it's just like at the back of my mind, you know? And so I want to give myself more options and I want to give myself the room to mood read and just pick up whatever I feel like picking up and reading. I'll just be talking about some books that I am hoping to read, and I might not read them in the end, and that's perfectly fine. And these, for the most part, are just sequels that I want to prioritize because I want to catch up with the series that I'm in the middle of currently, and so that's what this TBR mostly consists of. It's just my top priorities, but if I don't get to them, then that's perfectly fine. So my number one priority is to finish Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I believe this one is the fourth book in the series. Yes, this is the fourth book in the series, and I had started this, I believe, in November, but then I kind of just put it aside, and I think I'm finally ready to pick this back up again and continue with the series. I'm only 50 pages into it, and as you can see, that isn't really much because this is a thick one. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue with the series. I've been very much in the mood lately for some high fantasy, and this is just what I need. Next up, I have The Conference of Birds by Ransom Riggs. This is the fifth book in the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series, and I really need to get to this quite soon because in February, I believe, sometime around the end of February, the last book in the series is going to come out, and so I want to be all caught up and be ready for the release of the last book because that will be the conclusion to the series. I am really hoping to get to this at some point in January, and if not, then February it is, but this is kind of middle grade bordering on young adult, and it has a lot of pictures inside and it does read quite fast, so I'm hoping this is going to be a fun quick read whenever I'm in the mood for it. And if you don't know what this series is about, in only a couple of words, in these books you essentially follow some kids that have abilities, sort of superpowers, but not really. And these are very strange abilities, and you kind of follow them as they travel through time, but also it's not really time travel, but it is time travel. It's quite weird, and they're trying to fight these people that are killing off these kids or trying to turn them into monsters or whatnot, and it is a fun time, but also kind of grim, but also fun. Next up, I have Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This one I am so excited to get into. This one is the sequel to Serpent and Dove, and if you haven't heard of that book before, it is an amazing book. Please go and read it. And these books essentially follow the story of Lou, and she's a witch, and she kind of gets herself into this predicament where she is forced to marry a certain very handsome witch hunter, and his name is Reed, and they kind of slowly start falling in love with each other, but obviously that will create complications since she's a witch and he's a witch hunter and he hates witches to death. It is really good. There's a lot of adventure, there's some romance, some really good romance at that, and it's just a fun time. I really love Lou as a character, and I like the writing. They're very easy to read even though it's quite big. Don't let it fool you. A very good read, and I am hoping to get to the sequel. I can't wait to see what happens next into the story. I bet it's going to be great. Next up, I have Knife Edge by Mallory Blackman. This is the continuation for Knots and Crosses. And I read Knots and Crosses in sometime maybe during the summer in 2020, and so I've been meaning to continue with the series, but I just haven't been feeling it for some reason, and so I've been putting off picking up the sequel, and this is the sequel, and so I'm hoping to finally get to this one and just continue reading the series. There's also a TV show out for the book. It's also called Knots and Crosses, and essentially this is like an alternate history type of book where the privilege between white people and black people are reversed. So black people are the privileged ones and white people are considered to be the lowlives of society, and it is quite eye-opening to see, and it is interesting, and there's a lot of talk about race and privilege, bias, police brutality, and all that good stuff. And so essentially in the first book, our two main characters fall in love with each other, but one is black and one is white, and that is kind of forbidden. I mean, it's not officially forbidden, but it's very much looked down upon, and so you just follow the two main characters as they try and be together, but they can't, because obviously the world cannot accept that. It is a very good book with a lot of very important topics and discussions, and I genuinely do want to get to the sequel and see how the story will progress from there, because it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, and so I am really looking forward to continuing with the series. And lastly, a book that is quite high on my priority read is, for one, not a sequel, but it is a very hyped book and just series and author, and I've been wanting to read these forever. I will not keep you in suspense anymore. The book that I am talking about is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm pretty sure every single person on the planet has read these, and I want in on the hype. I want to see what these are about. With the TV show coming out quite soon, I just want to get into the world and see what it's about, and this is where you're supposed to start from, and so I'm hoping to get to this probably in the month of January, but if not, we shall see, but it will happen very soon. Frankly, I don't know what this is about. Like, I genuinely have no idea. All I know about this is that there's like some magic and that there's a heist, and it has like some Russian kind of inspired fantasy world, and that's it. That's as far as my knowledge goes on these books, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Like, I don't want to know more. I'm excited to read them nonetheless. And so those are the books that I'm really hoping to get to in the month of January. I'm very excited to get to these, but honestly, I'm just excited about literally every single book on my shelves that I haven't read yet, so I'm always excited to read books. And with that, I will conclude this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're excited for the start of a new year. Please do let me know what book you're very much excited to read this month, like what is on your top priority TBR list. And so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one soon.